Good morning. Times of India front page today cites the story of a young Indian IT engineer murdered in cold blood. Srinivas Kuchibhotla was killed by an American who wanted him to get out of his country. Without getting into rhetoric, let me come right away to the legal provisions that you can use if you find yourself arrested abroad or if a relative or friend of yours is killed abroad. Question number 3022 raised in the Lok Sabha on the 16th of March 2016 was answered by the Ministry of External Affairs, and those of you academically inclined can go ahead and research this question. In the answer it was stated that, among other things, just in the year 2015, 8,312 Indians died abroad. That's a staggering number. Out of this, nearly 2,500 or more in United Arab Emirates, nearly that number in Saudi Arabia, and somewhere close to that in Kuwait. So, the government of India knows that there are these deaths, unfortunate deaths that happen. Now, what do you do as a hapless relative who's here in India and you find yourself facing such woeful times when a near and dear one is dead abroad? The government of India, in an answer to that same question, and the answer shall scroll down now, it will be shown to you as it is, you can go ahead and research, has laid down what needs to be done by you, the relative in India, to be able to retrieve the mortal remains of your beloved abroad. And that shall scroll down here now. That's for you to read. And the question number that I have just mentioned, just go and type that in Google. Hopefully you'll be able to pull this up yourself and preserve it for your records. I am dealing with two aspects here: if a near and dear one is killed or if a near and dear one is arrested. So here it is. If you find yourself staring at such unbelievably sad times, this answer given by the Honorable Minister of External Affairs or on his behalf will tell you what you need to do. You definitely need to get in touch with the Indian diplomatic post, and here is a golden mantra that I am telling you, which you can use not only in this painful situation but in all situations in future where you deal with government and bureaucracy. Do not show up, do not make a phone call, do not cry yourself hoarse. Just take a piece of paper and write down what is it that you seek. So, identify yourself, date it, write a small subject and write in 2 or 3 paragraphs what is it that you seek. A paper from an Indian citizen to any entity is far more valuable today than the Indian citizen himself or herself in flesh and blood. If you exert the right kind of pressure at the right places, the mortal remains can be brought back to India with significant participation of the Indian government. Now moving on to a situation where you find yourself arrested or a loved one arrested. The first and foremost thing that you need to do is aggressively insist in the host country. Now this may be Saudi Arabia, this may be Kuwait, maybe they don't understand English, but you must aggressively assert your right for the implementation of the Vienna Convention on consular relations, which was signed between most major countries of the world in the year 1963. India is a signatory. Almost all the countries in the Middle East, all of the countries in the American and European continent are signatories. Insist on consular access under the Vienna Convention for Consular Relations 1963. When you do this, you will be provided with an access to your country's diplomatic mission in that country. And of the two objectives that an Indian diplomatic mission has abroad, one is to defend and protect your interest. Open your passport. The very first message carries a message from the President, and read it. That will tell you that there are more rights you have than you yourself know right now. So, insist on Vienna Convention, establish links with the Indian consular officer, and let them do their work. I will now come down quickly, only from a research point of view, research perspective, as to why India has not made aggressive maneuvers in protecting its citizens abroad. There is a history to it. If you're bored, you can go ahead and do something else. If you're lawyers and law students, you should stick on and hear this. There's a doctrine called responsibility to protect, R2P. This is an international law doctrine that was first, I think, presented to the United Nations in the year 2005. And I shall name two authorities on this doctrine. Both authorities tell you India's position in this. The broad doctrine is that a country has the right to go into another country and has a responsibility to protect its citizens. Those of you historically inclined, India did something similar in Rhodesia. India did something similar in the Pakistan-Bangladesh war. India did recently something similar by coming to the aid of the Tamil populace in Sri Lanka, much to the chagrin of Sri Lankan administration. There is a very famous movie called, I think, 1972, where responsibility to protect is the theme of the movie, where the Israeli Mossad goes in and rescues athletes trapped inside, I think, the Entebbe airport in Uganda. Anyway, the two authorities that I'd like you to study, one is Professor Sumit Ganguly, a screenshot shall scroll now, who is presently the Rabindranath Tagore Chair, teaching political science at the University of Indiana in Bloomington. I also propose that you study a research paper forwarded by Dan Cross in Hamburg, Germany, who is a Lieutenant Colonel with the Army Reserve and seems to be an authority on India's present position on R2P, responsibility to protect. The paper, the screenshot will show you now, cannot be transmitted without the permission of, I think, University of Hamburg, but there is no harm in you going and studying the positions taken by these two authors about India's perspective. It is tragic that an Indian citizen goes abroad and gets shot dead so callously. It is equally tragic that in the dispensing and discharging of his duties, he or she meets with an unfortunate accident and dies, and the mortal remains may or may not be brought back to the country. In this case, in the case of Srinivas Kuchibhotla, the Indian administration was quick and they sent their diplomatic officers from both Dallas and one more place to the nearby Kansas to provide all relief that Srinivas's family may need. But I think of those blue-collar workers who are in Saudi Arabia and who are in Dubai and who may be just falling off a building that they are helping construct and dying there, and their families not knowing what to do. I hope I have given you some succor, some relief in terms of this grey area of law. Thank you for watching me. It encourages me. Please subscribe. Thank you.